Hello and good afternoon. Thanks for joining us and you're watching Updates at Noon. I'm Shuhaida Arifin. Two trains collided in a tunnel on the Kerana LRT line last night, resulting in 213 passengers in one of the trains to be injured, 47 of them seriously wounded. The accident happened at 8:45 p.m. in the tunnel between the Kampung Baru and KLCC stations. The other train was said to have been test-driven following a fault and carried only a driver. The 166 passengers who were slightly injured were sent to the Kuala Lumpur hospital and several hospitals nearby. Dangwangi Police Chief ACP Muhammad Zainal Abdullah said the train with passengers was heading from the KLCC station to the Gombak station. The empty train was going from the Kampung Baru station to the Gombak station. The two trains were reportedly travelling at 40 km per hour and collided in the tunnel between the Kampung Baru and KLCC stations. He also said that police are still investigating and added that one train heading from the Kampung Baru station to Gombak was reportedly being test-driven following a fault to ensure it was on the right track.
Setakat ini, siasatan akan dilakukan oleh agensi pengangkutan awam darat yang mana seperti mana diumumkan oleh YB Menteri tadi, mereka akan menubuhkan task force untuk menyiasat punca apa sebenarnya yang berlaku yang menyebabkan pertembungan antara dua train. Train yang beroperasi seperti biasa dan train yang rosak.
In a related development, the Transport Ministry MOT will set up a special task force to investigate the cause of the light rail transit LRT accident. Its Minister Datuk Seri Wee Ka Siong said he expects the result of the investigation by the special task force to be presented to the ministry in 2 weeks' time.
Dan dalam tempoh 2 minggu, task force ini akan mengemukakan hasil siasatan kepada saya. Dan dalam tempoh 2 minggu, kita akan kena pasti sama ada disebabkan oleh kesilapan dari segi sistem signaling ataupun communication ataupun human error.
The minister said that he was at Avenue K right after receiving news about an incident involving two LRT trains and added that injured passengers have been rushed to the nearest hospital for treatment. He also said further investigations on the cause of the accident will start immediately. On another note, Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin has called for priority to be accorded in the treatment of all the passengers injured in the train accident on the Kerana LRT line. He said he has ordered all quarters to extend their full cooperation to ensure all the victims get comprehensive treatment as the country is in a COVID-19 pandemic with a rising number of cases. On a post on his Facebook account, the Premier said he took this accident seriously and have instructed the Transport Ministry and Sarana Malaysia Berhad to conduct a full investigation to identify the cause of the accident and firm action should be taken immediately. From today to 7 June, all Secretaries General of Ministries are required to submit a report on the attendance percentage of their officers to the Public Service Department JPA every Friday before noon. JPA in a statement yesterday said the measure is aimed at ensuring the 20% attendance of civil servants at the office. Elaborating further, JPA said the maximum attendance of 20% at the office is only allowed for works that require the presence of civil servants in the office, including those at payment counters or involve classified documents such as the Cabinet Memorandum. The statement also said that the 20% attendance did not include frontliners and staff who were reassigned to certain agencies. Chief Secretary to the Government, Tan Sri Muhammad Zuki Ali, had recently announced that government officers would operate in a hybrid manner, which involves attendance at the office and working from home during the implementation of the Movement Control Order MCO 3.0. The hybrid operation would see a 20% attendance at the office, not including frontline services, while another 80% would work from home on a rotation basis. Meanwhile, JPA recommended that meetings be conducted online through a secure medium with guaranteed confidentiality and must comply with the Information Security and Information Technology Policy. On the document reception counter service for agencies, government agencies are encouraged to open special counters at the lobby to reduce the number of people entering government premises. The government and Lembaga Tabung Haji TH are still waiting for an official announcement by the Saudi Arabian government on the total quota of Malaysian pilgrims, their selection criteria, and the implementation methods of the Hajj pilgrimage this year. Minister in the Prime Minister's Department for Religious Affairs, Dr. Zulkifli Muhammad Al-Bakri, said the government would abide by any decisions made by the Saudi Arabia on the matter. In a statement released, Dr. Zulkifli said preparations for this year's Hajj operations had been carried out since last year. He also said that TH had also conducted a series of meetings and workshops with the Ministry of Health to discuss about the health and safety of pilgrims in the Holy Land. He said the 13-week online basic Hajj course has also been successfully organized throughout the country for prospective pilgrims to gain knowledge and have an idea of performing the pilgrimage in the Holy Land. Prospective pilgrims were also advised to register for the COVID-19 vaccination through the My Sejahtera application or its website to enable them to receive the Pfizer-BioNTech, AstraZeneca, Johnson & Johnson or Moderna vaccines as recognized by the Saudi Arabian government. The minister in the PM's office also reminded the pilgrims to be prepared for the compulsory meningococcal vaccine. A man with the Datuk Seri title was among 19 individuals arrested for suspected involvement in slot machine gambling activities in a police operation from 1st to 20th May in Klang Valley. Kuala Lumpur Police Chief Dato' Azmi Abu Qasim said the 55-year-old man was arrested at his residence in Bukit Segar Cheras on May 20th. Commenting further, Dato' Azmi said the Datuk Seri was the mastermind of the slot machine gambling syndicate that was believed to have been active since early this year. He said 9 other people, including a woman, 5 Myanmar men and 3 Bangladeshi men aged 17 to 71 were arrested in separate raids on the same day, and that police seized more than 570,000 ringgit in cash, watches, gold bars, lockets and 3 vehicles worth 1.2 million ringgit found at the Datuk Seri's residence. The police also seized gambling equipment, 4 gambling computers, 2 boxes of gambling software, 2 chips of gambling credits, gambling record books and cash worth more than 10,000 ringgit during the raid. The Kuala Lumpur Police Chief added that the case is being investigated under Section 4, Subsection 1, Subsection C and 6, Subsection 1 of the Common Gaming Houses Act 1953 and Section 6, Subsection 1, Subsection C of the Immigration Act 1959-1963 for not possessing a permit to enter the country. He also noted that 4 of the arrested would be charged under the Prevention of Crimes Act POCA 1959, with 2 of them facing additional charges under the Anti-Money Laundering, Anti-Terrorism Financing and Proceeds of Unlawful Activities Act 2001. The Kuala Lumpur High Court has fixed 17th June for a decision on the legal action by 18 Malaysian youth to challenge the government's action in delaying the implementation of Undi 18, a move to lower the voting age to 18 and to enable automatic voter registration (AVR). Judge Dato' Ahmad Kamal Mat Shahid set the date after hearing submissions from the 18th Youth Council, Dato' S. Ambiga and Dato' Dr. Gurdial Singh Jijar, and Senior Federal Counsel Shamsul Bolhassan, who acted for the Attorney General's Chamber AGC on behalf of all the respondents. Earlier, Shamsul, when objecting to the 18 youth application for leave, submitted that the necessary law and regulations need to be amended before AVR could be enforced. On 2nd April, the youth aged between 18 and 20 filed their legal action, seeking several court orders arising from the respondents' delay in the implementation implementation of Undi 18. In the application, the youth seek a declaration that the government's action to delay the enforcement of lowering the voting age from 21 to 18 was irrational, illegal, disproportionate, and a form of voter suppression. The applicants want a declaration that those aged 18 to 20 have a legitimate expectation that they will have the right to vote on or before July 2021. Myanmar's deposed leader Aung San Suu Kyi appeared in person at a court hearing for the first time since her government was overthrown by the military nearly 4 months ago. Suu Kyi's legal team head Khin Maungzo said the deposed leader looked in good health during a 30-minute meeting with her legal team, but said she had no access to newspapers during detention and was only partially aware of what was happening outside. The Austin leader, 75, who won the Nobel Peace Prize in 1991 for her efforts to build democracy, is among more than 4,000 people detained since the first February coup. She faces charges that range from illegally possessing walkie-talkie radios, violating a state secrets law, punishable by 14 years in prison. Myanmar has been in chaos since the army took power, with daily protests, marches and strikes nationwide against the junta. According to the Assistance Association for Political Prisoners activist group, junta administration has responded with lethal force, killing more than 800 people. The media recently quoted a commissioner saying that Myanmar's junta-appointed election commission will dissolve the NLD on the grounds that its victory in the November election was secured by fraud. The accusations, however, had been dismissed by the former Electoral Commission. Since yesterday's hearing was to allow defendants to meet with their lawyers, the proceeding judge adjourned the session until 7th June. India has set up a COVID-19 care center in a school on the outskirts of Mumbai in the western of state Maharashtra to treat rural patients who shun traditional hospitals. Established as a partnership between a non-profit organization and the state government in Palghar district, the 100-bed facility has seen colorful classroom converted into wards. Nurses and doctors avoid wearing full PPE while treating patients to make them feel more comfortable while under their care. An acute shortage of beds in hospitals prompted the conversion of school into the care center in the tribal-dominated region, where the locals have very limited access to hospitals or medical facilities. The center opened on 1st May this year and has since treated over 600 COVID-19 patients. India's overall death toll from COVID-19 crossed 300,000 on Monday, as it reported 4,454 deaths over the last 24 hours, with its daily coronavirus infections rose by 222,315. With hospitals and crematorium overflowing and the health system overwhelmed, it is widely accepted that the official figures grossly underestimate the real impact of the pandemic, with some experts saying infections and deaths could be 5 to 10 times higher. According to India Health Ministry data, the country's total coronavirus cases are now stands at 26.75 million, while total fatalities are at 303,720. Bolivian President Luis Arce received his COVID-19 vaccine on Monday as part of an effort to boost the take-up of jabs in the Andean nation. Bolivia's immunization drive against COVID-19 is being hit by anti-vaccine misinformation that is stoking skepticism and leaving inoculation centers half empty, a challenge for the government facing a wave of new infections. Health workers and officials have raised concerns about low turnout at some vaccination sites, saying this is risking jabs being wasted and pointing towards fake news campaigns that have included material saying vaccines contain satanic material. Bolivia, like much of South America, is being hammered by a deadly new wave of coronavirus infections, with total confirmed cases hitting 337,000, with nearly 14,000 deaths. Per capita, the region has many of the worst affected countries in the world. The region has also struggled with a scarcity of vaccines, though Bolivia has started to see more doses flow in after deals for Russia's Sputnik 5 with drug makers in China and with India's Serum Institute for AstraZeneca shots. Bolivia has recorded over 335,000 COVID-19 cases and more than 13,000 deaths. A memorial service is held in Gaza City by Hamas, the freedom fighters that protect the sanctity of Palestinian territory along the Gaza Strip for its fighters who died in aerial attacks by Israel. Earlier, funerals were held for 4 members of the Az al-Din al-Qassam brigades, the armed wing of the Hamas movement in the city of Khan Yunis in the southern Gaza Strip. Monday's fatal altercation took place a short distance from the occupied Jerusalem neighborhood of Sheikh Jarrah, the site of regular protest against the expulsion of Palestinians from their homes in favor of Jewish settlers. Tensions there built earlier this month to culminate in repeated clashes between Palestinian worshippers and Israeli security forces inside the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound, triggering retaliation from Gaza towards Israel on 10th May. Health Ministry in Gaza says subsequent Israeli airstrikes and artillery fire on Gaza killed 253 Palestinians, including 66 children, and wounded over 1,900 people. The figure includes the bodies of 4 fighters that the Al-Qassam Brigade's military wing of Hamas said Monday had been found in a tunnel in the southern Gaza Strip. U.S. President Joe Biden said his Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, would engage with the Palestinians in efforts to rebuild ties to support for the Palestinian people and leaders. Relations between Washington and the Palestinian Authority fell apart under Biden's predecessor, Donald Trump, who recognized Jerusalem as Israel's capital, a move that broke with decades of international consensus. All right, that concludes today's edition of Update Noon. In our top story, Ministry of Transport launches full probe on LRT incident. Tune in to News at 10 coming up at 10 p.m. on saluran Berita RTM on My Free Views channel 123. You can also stream the news by surfing RTM's Click mobile app or website. Thank you. I'm Shohaida Arifin. Stay tuned to TV2.